Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and the upcoming segment is from our full Fast Break podcast that we recorded. And if you do want to check out that full podcast, head over to Blog Talk Radio/The Fast Break. You'll be able to find the full podcast over there.
No, the fucking instrument you'd get in grade school where it had
the washboard.
It had the beads and you shook it like this.
Yeah.
I should know what it's called.
I know what you're talking about.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, and alongside me, doing the figure guns a-blazing, is Ricky Widme.
Pew, pew. What's up, guys?
Oh, I thought you almost missed it. I thought you were just not going to do it. I thought you were not going to do it.
I can't miss. What would Ben think if I missed?
A lot.
I would be a terrible role model to Ben.
I gotta give a shout out to Ben. I hate What's Up Nation, but I love Ben. Anyways,
you my dog, Ben.
You can see we're man down. Dave's playing Diablo, and it's
Season 9.
Season 9. He did join us though for our draft cast, so don't forget to check out our full draft cast. We talked about Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz, Harry Giles, the Celtics, and the 76ers. I yelled at Ricky about the Bulls, but we have
I didn't even talk Bulls.
We have a regular Fast Break podcast for you. We are going to talk a little about Bulls.
Thank God.
Jimmy Butler and trade rumors. So
I have some frustration.
So 2 weeks in a row here. We got Kyle Korver, the trade to Cleveland, not officially done yet, but it's most likely to get done. Recording this on Friday. They hope for it to be done on Saturday. And we also have the Paul Millsap trade rumors. And we're going to jump into the Kyle Korver stuff first. It's not officially done yet. We're recording this on Friday. Sources are saying that it should be done by Saturday. And the trade that is planned out so far, Cleveland would receive Korver. Atlanta would receive Mike Dunleavy, Mo Williams, and a protected 2019 first-round draft pick. And really what they're waiting for is a third team, because I don't think Atlanta wants Dunleavy. And I think really what I've been hearing is that they want to push that Dunleavy to that third team. And possibly I've also heard rumors that that third team could be the 76ers. So just throwing out what we know and really looking at this, Ricky, the Cavs also swapped first-round draft picks with the Portland Trail Blazers. The Cavs pick this year for 2018. But looking at what we know for this, how much does Kyle Korver help the Cleveland Cavaliers if it happens?
A lot. And really the Cavs, what they need is, last year they proved that when J.R. Smith gave them the shooting that they needed,
especially Game 7,
they could beat the Warriors. Well, guess what? J.R. Smith, he's put a shirt on, but his shooting has not followed. And
well, he's also been hurt too, so that's another reason.
He's been hurt, and he hasn't been shooting as lights out as he did last year. And I mean, who knows about Kyle Korver better than us, putting a little hot sauce on it. And Cleveland just wanted to put a little hot sauce on their three-pointers.
And that's one thing, too. I mean, I don't think that JR is going to overtake – I don't think Korver's going to overtake JR in the starting lineup. But then you don't have to rely on Shumpert. And while Shumpert proved to be very valuable in the finals, at least defensively, Kyle Korver's a different monster. Because Kyle Korver, I know his stats have been down in the past 2 years, but when you look at what he did in 2014, 2015, when he was shooting 49% from three, Ricky, let me say that again, 49% from three. This was a winning team. This was a team that was at the top, and Atlanta has fallen down since that 2014-2015 season. So now when he's in this winning momentum, and when he was on the Bulls shooting around 43%, and when he's on these playoff teams, he could really find his groove. And playing with a guy like LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love,
makes you better.
It's going to make you better, and it's going to take pressure off you.
And the only worry that I have with Kyle Korver is defense, but really the thing I think about is when you're on a team with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and LeBron James, they can hide you.
Well, Kyrie isn't the best, but yeah, defensively at least.
Better than Kyle Korver. Better than this.
Yeah.
That's Kyle Korver.
Well, Kyle Korver is sharpshooter.
Yeah, that's the Kyle Korver move number one in his book of defense is to just do that. But no, you bring him in for the offensive capabilities that he has, mainly from the three-point line. And in today's NBA, the three-point kills. And if you can shoot that at a high efficiency, you're going to win games. And with JR being injured and JR's shot not being the same as it was last year, this was a no-brainer move.
And plus, if JR does come back healthy and he's able to get back up to that 40% three-point rate that he was at last year, Now you got 2, and you have guys that if you want to put LeBron out there, give Kyrie a break. You have JR sitting on that 3-point line, and you have Kyle Korver as LeBron drives in. I mean, this team is stupid good. And you're moving Dunleavy out, who Dunleavy was a good veteran presence, but you're not getting rid of that veteran presence as well.
There's a reason why the Bulls got rid of him.
Yeah, and you're bringing in a guy in Kyle Korver who still has that veteran presence, and that the 3-point shooting is not going to go down. This is pretty much Ray Allen back in Miami. I mean, this.
I think Ray Allen's a little bit better.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
Ray Allen.
Like Ray Allen's role in Miami.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Jeez, Ray Allen's the best 3-point shooter right now. I mean, Steph is probably 2 and Reggie's 3rd. Sorry, Reggie. I know you were the king for a while, but still, I mean.
But Reggie can score, what was it, 6 points in like 2 seconds?
Everyone knows the Garden story.
2.7, something like that.
Something like that. But really, I mean, looking at this, I mean, I saw this trade and I sent the Randy Marsh gif to Dave of him doing some stuff under a blanket.
Yeah.
And
it was great.
And as a guy who rooted for the Cavs in the finals, and obviously if you didn't watch our reactions to every game in the finals, Ricky was rooting on the Warriors. I was rooting on the Cavs, and when they had to come back, when the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
You mean when the NBA gave them a 3-1 lead? Because if Draymond would have played, it would have been over in like 5.
When they blew a 3-1 lead.
Rigged. When
they blew a 3-1 lead. Now you're adding on Kyle Korver to this team that, I mean, there was something, too, that ESPN put out that said Giannis is the best player in the East. Did you forget about LeBron James as the best player in the NBA? I mean, looking at this team, you have LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Shumpert. You have now Kyle Korver, who... I know Atlanta fans are heartbroken because this was one of the guys. I mean, it was Jeff Teague, Millsap, Horford, Kyle Korver. This was the core that in 2014, 2015 gave him a magical season.
I just don't. I kind of don't get it, and the reason why I don't get it is Kyle Korver.
While Atlanta's trading him.
Yeah, why they're getting it's one of those things where I know that Korver's contract that it's up at the end of the year, but I just don't get the return unless you're only doing it for the pick. If you're only doing it for that pick that you're going to receive, that 2019 first round pick that, let's be honest, ain't going to be a high pick because I don't expect the Cavaliers to be a lottery team in 3 years. I don't know about you, but you're getting basically Mo Williams and that first round pick in 2019. I mean, you could be excited. You could be saying, well, Ricky, it's a first round pick. Be excited for it. I just don't see it. It's like, why are you making yourself worse? Because a guy like Mo Williams, virtually Mo Williams for Kyle Korver, fine. They're both off the, if you weren't going to re-sign Korver, they're both off the books at the end of the year anyways. But
Kyle Korver has more value.
For this year alone, I'll take Korver over Mo Williams, an aging Mo Williams who's 34.
Heartbeat. And one thing too with Kyle Korver, I mean,
Korver's 35, but you don't show it.
But and plus, Mo Williams did a lot with driving. Mo Williams did a lot, going to the basket with the athleticism.
He did say Mo Williams.
With Kyle Korver, I mean, the thing with the Hawks too, they were on a 5-game. They're currently on a 5-game winning streak as we speak. And looking at the games that Kyle Korver did play, 39 minutes in the win against San Antonio, 29 minutes in the win against Detroit, 25 minutes against the win against New York, shooting 3 for 5 against New York, 3 for 8 against Detroit, and 4 for 9 against San Antonio. I mean, Kyle Korver was helping this team too, and Atlanta, they're moving up, and they've been on a hot streak lately, and now they're at 20-16, where they had that weird spot where I think they were 1-9 in the middle of the season. Like they started off hot, hit a weird wall, and now they're kind of out of this slump. But Kyle Korver's still a guy that was helping this team. So Atlanta, there's obviously stuff that we'll talk about later too with Paul Millsap, where it just seems like they're building around Dwight, and now Dwight has this contract. And Howard's going to be the guy here. So you don't need Korver is really what they're saying. You don't need Paul Millsap. You don't need Al Horford, obviously. We want Dwight as the guy that we're going to build around. We're going to have Schroeder as well. So Schroeder, Howard, Bazemore too. Bazemore's been slumping, but really, I mean, that's going to be your core now. And now I'm wondering where the Hawks will go after this, because the Hawks, we've called them before, they're the Spurs of the East, where you don't really need a huge star. You need your Tim Duncan, and then you need a surrounding cast that has their roles.
Here's the thing I'm thinking about, and I'm looking at free agency because I just pulled up their multi-year contracts, and really the only guys, if they let everybody with expiring contracts go at the end of the year, the only guys they have on contracts is Bazemore, Dwight, Schroeder, Malcolm Delaney, Terran Prince, and DeAndre Bambry. That's it.
Ricky
Millsap is in there, but Millsap, we're going to talk about him later. He's in trade talks. I know you're showing one to me, CP3.
CP3. Clippers have been on the downcline, using a Ricky Widme term that he's coined.
Maybe this is their way of making a push to not only get a higher draft pick, because let's be honest, they're only 3 games away from being in the lottery. They're fourth right now if I'm looking at ESPN.
Yeah, but they're also pretty. They can be.
I'm not saying Kyle Korver is going to. Without Kyle Korver, you're going to drop out of the playoffs. But if you go on another 1 of 9 stretch because you don't have that 3-point shooting, it could be a factor where you fall into that lottery. Maybe they're saying we can go for a pick this year. We can get the cap room to then go and make a free agent push.
I think what this more is we see that this team is good, but we're not good enough to beat the Cavs or beat the Raptors.
Is it basically just getting that draft pick? Is that basically all it is?
I think it's more footing for, if we can see what we have without guys like Kyle Korver and Paul Millsap, who we don't think will be on this team long term, where we have Dwight for 4 years, I believe he signed, or 3 years. I think it was 3 years, $75 million. You have Dwight around. You have Bazemore, who you just recently signed. You have these guys that will stick around, and we'll see what we have with them. And then if we are able to get a draft pick in the lottery, and then we have a guy like Dunleavy who's gonna, if we bring him in, we can trade him as well and hopefully get some value back. Then you have a guy like CP3 out there who has a player option that he can decline and most likely will decline for the Los Angeles Clippers because the way the CBA is set up, he's going to get a lot of money. And then I look at how much is he sold on LA and how much is really LA sold on what they currently have, because LA's been really disappointing as of late.
But the Hawks have Schroeder.
But what I'm saying is Schroeder's been a guy that's played off the bench before, and also I know that he is a true traditional point guard. He's not going to be a guy that is going to be able to put up a ton of points, at least in the sense where you're going to go to Dennis Schroeder late. I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at CP3 and Dwight Howard. I think it could be interesting. I'm not saying it will happen, but I think it could be interesting where if they do want to bring in another star to go along with Dwight, CP3 is a guy that might be a natural fit.
Let me throw this out at you. And this is, you said during the draft podcast you liked
and real quick,
Tin Hat Ricky. I'm going to pull out Tin Hat Ricky.
Real quick, people are going to get pissed at me because they're like, Dennis Schroeder scoring 17 points per game. I'm just saying that
you'd rather have CP3 as a starter.
No shit.
Yeah.
If you're picking Dennis Schroeder over CP3, you're a goddamn moron. CP3 is the third best point guard in the league, pretty much, behind Russ and Steph.
Let me throw this out here. What would you rather take? Would you rather take CP3 or a possibility with the money that they could have with the contracts that it all depends on if they can get rid of the Millsap contract, because that is huge. I mean, they might not have enough money for this, because as I'm actually looking, 23.5 for Dwight, 16 for Bazemore, 15 for Schroeder alone. But would you rather have CP3 or maybe try to make a push and get Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant has the player option where he can decline it, try to get more money.
He's not leaving.
But Kevin Durant and JJ Redick will be available.
He's not right. KD's not leaving.
I'm just saying.
And plus, we've seen what
or take KD out, put in a Gordon Hayward.
See, but I think the thing is, the way the Dwight works is he needs a guy that is a complementary piece and not two stars in the sense of he's our go-to guy.
You think Dwight will get jealous?
CP3 is a completely unselfish person, and that's the reason I bring up.
You can feed the beast, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and a guy like CP3, JJ Redick, those complement Dwight, where they can shoot from the outside. And I think that JJ Redick and CP3 is kind of overkill. I think JJ Redick could work on this Atlanta team, though.
I saw him, and I'm thinking, if you're getting rid of Kyle Korver and JJ Redick is there and not going to go back to the Clippers, if I'm the Hawks, I would go after JJ Redick.
I think maybe the CP3 thing was just kind of just throwing it out there just to talk. But
like, JJ Redick is a huge upgrade from Kyle Korver.
Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh, it's just one of our videos scared me a little bit. Don't forget to check out that one. And also don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.